is up, Dragon Ball fam? Welcome to the Pro Play Games channel. Before we start off, I want to let you guys know we have a championship going on November 23rd and 24th at the Will Rogers Memorial Center in beautiful Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas. And it's going to be a big one, $2,000 in as close as you can get it into cash without getting in trouble with Bandai. Fantastic event. Make sure you guys attend if you haven't already. Last Dallas was a blast, and we made a run around back to Dallas just to make sure you guys had a taste of the action one more time. And don't forget, Series 8 will be available, hence this Malicious Machinations case tournament on Sunday. For those of you who don't do so hot on Saturday, you always have something to do on Sunday. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope to see you at Dallas. Let's go on to the video. As always, our videos are powered by dbsdecks.com. Please check them out if you haven't already. They support us, we support them. Fantastic deck building website for all your deck building needs. Without further ado, guys, this is the Android 21 deck that we've been testing, or myself actually. Everybody else thinks it's bad, including Peter Katani. He's primarily the reason why I actually built this deck. He was telling me, why play Android 21? It seems bad, especially the clone version. Why would you give your opponent attackers? Well, you can do things with the attackers, right? And you do want to awaken, so it's a great way of getting your opponent to tempt you to awaken. Now, it's a very cool deck, and I love the thematicness to it. Android 21, as many of you know, if you've played the video game, really makes these clones, and it's cool because that's what the actual leader does, right? It makes clones. Granted, they're on the opposite side of the field, but it's really cool because you destroy them, you get effects like untapping energy, drawing cards. You even have some battle cards that can take away those clones and give you some special effects. So we're kind of going to go into the deck one by one here and kind of look at the card choices that I've made. This is like version 8 or 9. I've been playing it a lot on Untapped just because I wasn't sure what to expect from the leader, and I just didn't want to make something off the bat. It is kind of an unusual leader, so we're kind of going to go into it first off with the leader. Now, there is 2 different Android 21 leaders. We're choosing this one. This is the one that gives your opponent clones. Well, not exactly. It starts with Android's 21 scheme, which is this card right here. It starts the game with it. So I really wanted to play Android 21 specifically because of this card, because this turns Dragon Ball Super into Magic the Gathering in terms of cards have summoning sickness when they come into the battlefield. Now, what is summoning sickness? That means the card cannot attack immediately when it comes onto the battlefield, which is really good. I feel like it's a mechanic that Dragon Ball Super should have started with to really stop all these super aggressive, crazy plays. And this leader kind of lets you play that format and see how you like it. Granted, it's only for the first time that a battle card comes into play, so and it does not affect the tokens. So even though your opponent will be getting tokens from this effect at the beginning of their main phase, they will be getting 2 clone tokens with power of 10,000, but with zero combo power. So after you're awakened, they pretty much just sit at shore, and you can use them however way you like. Until then, you're kind of getting a beating from them, which is okay, because we like to get awakened. Now, the exact effect reads once per turn. Whenever you or your opponent plays a non-token battle card, it can't attack for the duration of the turn. So very powerful. It really makes you play your 1-drops before playing your bombs, if you even have access to a 1-drop, and that essentially taxes your card by 1. So it's really good if you're on the defensive side of this card, which we are. So without further ado, it does start with that, right? That's part of the Android 21 effect. So you'll start the game with that, before mulligans and all that stuff. And the Android 21 itself, actually, once per turn, you can select a clone token, you can destroy it, you can then draw a card, and then at the beginning of your opponent's turn, you can untap a multicolor energy, one of the blue-green energies. So really cool because it does give you that untap ability. You never tap out with this leader, and on top of that, you get a card draw without having to attack, which is a great part. Backside is actually the same exact thing. A lot of people don't like that, but I do like that. It does allow you for a big turn. You can draw like 4 cards. I think you could draw 4 cards because when you do awaken, you draw 2. So you can draw 1 on one side, draw 2, then draw 1 with the ability on the backside. So pretty cool. I like the leader. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but I do like the ability of starting with the scheme. Now, first one that we play is Android 18, Speedy Substitution. You can look at the top 5 cards, choose a blue-green android, add it to your hand. So it's essentially a draw 1 card, and we play this primarily so that we don't get hit by our own Android 21 scheme when we're going for an attack that turn. So pretty cool. cool being able to not only search your win conditions, but also being able to nullify that Android 21 scheme. And on top of that, you can choose one blue-green multicolor energy card in your energy and return it to your hand. If you do, choose one card in your hand and place it in your energy in rest mode. So it lets you cycle up. If you charge a blue-green, one of your win cons and you never see it for the rest of the game, you can play this, get it back. So really cool card. I do like the design on that card. Then we play 4-dimension magic as we are a blue leader. Fantastic negate. I think hands down the best free negate in the game, because you can use an energy, a life to use it instead of an energy. 3 sensu beans. I love this card. We've trimmed it to 3. There's not that many card decks that go wide, barring Demigra. So we're going to drop that down. Then we play Android 16. This is another card from Series 8 that you're going to really want to get your hands on. Now, it does have a restriction here. Not only does it cost 1 blue and 1 green on turn 2, which is when you want to play it, so you really want to force yourself to charge that multicolor turn 1 to be able to play this on curve, because remember, those multicolors are going to come in into the battlefield rested, so you're not going to be able to play that multicolor turn 2. So if you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, when you play this card from your hand, place the top card of your deck in your energy in your rest mode, and you can't play battle cards with the restriction of 30k to 35k for the duration of the game. Now, there's a few cards that ramp you energy that have this restriction that you cannot play the battle cards of 30 to 35k, which is why our deck is not playing any of those. Fun fact, I was playing Perfect Force Cell in this deck before Marcel Russell told me, have you read any of your ramp cards, because they say for the rest of the game. I thought it was for the rest of the turn. So fun fact. So yeah, it really restricts you from abusing these ramp cards with cards like Gogeta 7 and etc. So heads up play with Bandai doing that, because it would have been really insane to just be able to ramp so far ahead of your opponent and then drop these 30 to 35k bombs. Next card is the Android 17, Protector of the Wildlife. This is from Series 8. This is a brand new check land, I like to call it. That's what they call in Magic. It pretty much checks the field to see if you have another multicolor energy, and if you do have another blue-green multicolor energy, then it will come in untapped. So this is a great turn 2 play. If your turn 1 is a multicolor rested, then you can play this unrested. So on turn 2, you have access to perfect energy, essentially, and none of them are rested. Next is also, it has a really good effect, actually. I've actually played this a few times, not only to get around Android's 21 scheme, but it does have that ability to get around that summoning sickness if you want to hit it on this for the turn. But once per turn, when your opponent combos, choose one of those cards and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, then negate the skill for the duration of the turn of the game. So pretty cool being able to nullify an attack. You can just have that guy on board. It's kind of like an enchantment. It'll stay there and be able to remove your opponent's combos, or at least hinder their combos for the rest of the game, or for the rest of the next turn. Then we have our super combo. I played Ginyu because Ginyu super combo, of course. I'm all in. One of the main reasons I wanted to play blue, actually. Then we play 3 objections. Why do we play objection, even though we already play a better version of objection? Now, this one takes the top card of your deck, which is random. It does also play it in rest mode, which makes you tap out. But with our leader, we're never really tapped out, so it's great. Objection will play the card from your hand, but this deck has a lot of advantage anyways, so you're okay sacrificing some cards from hand. You can't combo with this one. You can't combo with objection. You can only charge it, really, or play it. With Android, with the Android, you can actually charge it, combo it, play it, all that stuff. So objection, I still want to be able to see some type of objection type effect, a ramp effect on turn 2. So for the times that you missed that Android ramp, you have the objection to kind of back up on there. Then we have Android 21. We're finally playing some Android 21 decks. I wanted to keep it in theme, and the deck does very well in theme, of course, with the clones. I don't think there's any other way that you can take this specific leader if you're not in theme. But we're playing the Beautiful Scientist. She's a blocker. And when you play this card from your hand, look at the top 7 from your deck. Choose one card, place it in your energy and rest mode, shuffle your deck, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, and you can't play cards between 30 to 35k. So we got that restriction on this card as well. But very good, because this is very reminiscent of Whis the Resting Attendant, but Whis the Resting Attendant can play the card untapped, unrested on your in your energy, which is great. This one will always bring it in rest mode. The beautiful thing about this is you can't hit your huge bombs off of this ramp off the top of your deck because you're looking at the top 7 and you're choosing one. So unlike Whis, where it's complete RNG, you know, top card of your deck, I've seen people hit Victory Strike, their best card from their deck and their energy. This one really lets you pick, and it's going to be really cool too because you can get that multicolor card from the top of your deck, from the top 7, and it's going to come in rested anyways, right? So it doesn't hurt for being able to play more multicolored cards in your deck, because cards like this will really reward you for that. And remember, you're never really tapping out, so even if you play this on curve on turn 3, like when you want to play this card, you're not ever really tapping out because of your leader. So very good card. And on top of that, it has removal. If we haven't already gotten to that part, the removal is huge and the blocker is huge. So it essentially deals with 2 types of pressure that might be on you at this point, which is great on turn 3. Being able to get rid of something with no restriction, really. It's just KO a battle card, which is fantastic. Of course, you can't KO barrier, but still great. Maleficent technique Cell, and I really wanted to play this one because I love Cell and I miss Cell 7-drop, and I was playing this with the 7-drop, and I was just so mad that I couldn't play the 7-drop because it's 30k power. It's so crazy. I wish it was like 25 or something, but yeah, I mean, this is the only Cell that we can really play in this deck, and it's actually not that bad. It's a 4-drop, but technically we play this because we want to play it for 0 energy. It's got critical inherently, so that's great. A 15k critical, it can pressure your opponent's awakened side. And its activate main is choose 3 clone tokens from your opponent's battle area, remove them from the game, and play this card from your hand. So essentially 0 energy, and that's really good in being able to, 1, get around Android's 21 scheme, and 2, being able to just put on some type of pressure that's not exactly your boss monster, but can really chip at your opponent's life, especially if they're just sitting there, and not let them get additional cards. That's one of the main points there. Next card we're playing is Son Goku and Son Gohan, Saiyans of Earth, and I really like this card. It's not completely necessary, but I felt like I wanted some type of instant speed removal, and this is exactly what this is. Now, not only is it a multicolor card, so it's going to be great to see turn 1, but it does have an auto. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less. Place it in its owner's energy mode and rest mode, then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in their drop area. So not only is it removal, it does ramp your opponent, unfortunately. I think that's the biggest downside to this card. They get ahead on energy, but it also makes your opponent discard a card, which can be lethal at times, especially in a deck like this when you're really just trying to rob them of all card advantage because you have so many access, so many things that really take away the ability of your opponent getting that life to the hand because we have so much critical. I think this is a great card, and it also has that arrival ability for a blue-green, so you can play this in the middle of combat, or you can just play it for 5 energy. So a very good card. Next one we play is the Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Now this is one of our mini bombs. This is something that we play on our turn 4, I believe. Yeah, turn 4. Turn 2, you want to ramp. Turn 3, you want to ramp. And then you can go on turn 4 and play as early as this Dragon Fist. And this Dragon Fist is really, really powerful because it does have inherent barrier. So it's really protected from your opponent's removal spells. It has double strike. It sits at the 25k power level, so you're able to play it. It's not 30. And then it has a powerful auto that when it attacks, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, return it to its owner's hand, then choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. So you get a little bit of untap, a little bit of defense with this, as well as alleviating any type of pressure that might be on board, which is great because it pairs great with the Beautiful Scientists in making sure that there's not a lot of pressure on board for you, just in case, so that you can get to your end game. And speaking of end game, our end game here is Android 21, the Violent Predator. Of course, what is an Android 21 deck without the Android 21 boss monster? And this is one of the most popular cards from Series 8 so far. One of the best sellers for sure, and so there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's super powerful. Triple attack, deflect, of course has energy of exhaust because it's a multicolored card. When you play this card from your hand, choose all your opponent's non-multicolor energy and battle cards, ignoring barrier, negate their skills, then return them to the deck. All players who had cards removed to the deck shuffle their deck. So extremely powerful card. This card is a game changer for sure. It really makes people alleviate more or gravitate towards more multicolor strategies in order to not get burned by something like this. But even at that, this card is just an absolute beast. 25k attack, triple attack is just fantastic. And you're dropping this right after your Dragon Fist, so if they don't get rid of your Dragon Fist, then they're going to have to deal with this one, this Violent Predator. So very, very powerful. Next on the bomb list is Son Goku Noob, Seeds of the Future. Now, this is a secret rare that actually sits at a 40k power. Now, it's between this secret rare and the other secret, the blue-green secret rare. When I was testing this deck, the secret rares weren't spoiled, so it might be better. The other secret rare might be better, but the reason I like this one is that, you know, it just comes down and it really just gives you guaranteed damage, which is great. The other one, I know it has a rival, so you might have to like keep energy up if you want to play it on your opponent's turn, which I never see myself wanting to do, because it just seems very telepathic anyways. But this one I feel like people won't see coming as obviously, you know. So this card's great, and you can play it very simply right after your Android 21. Then we have another Android 21. This is actually my favorite card in the deck. This one does so much for you. It's Android 21, the brilliant idea. When you play this card, activate the skill at the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is unlike Android's game. It puts it at the end of their turn, not at the beginning. You put 2 clone tokens into the battle area. Then it's got an activate main, and this is the part that I really like because it really treats it like an enchantment. Once per turn, you can choose a clone token on your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game, then you choose one of these abilities. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. No restriction. Fantastic. It's almost like the Beautiful Scientist, really, but once per turn, which is crazy. And then number 2 effect that you can pick from is you can choose your leader card or one of your battle cards. Gets plus 10k power and critical. So this is really reminiscent of a Shenron Figure of Majesty. It gives you a couple abilities to choose from, and you're always going to have those clones to remove from your opponent's side of the field, which is fantastic. So I really like this card, especially because once you start like strangle holding them and putting this in this control position, you can go ahead and give your battle cards critical, which is great. Then Piccolo, assimilated ability. This is the final card that we play in our deck, and this card is so good in this deck because your opponent's always going to have a battle card no matter how they want to play. Even if they're playing Janemba and they play no battle cards whatsoever on their board, they're always going to have clone tokens. So you can always pop those cards and draw a card, which is fantastic. This card is it has barrier also, so you know, it just requires bond 2, which normally you're going to have because you're always going to have like maybe your Android out on the field, or you can have you know, one of these out on the field, or you can even have your Cell, your Dragon Fist, anything like that, and his ability will be online just because it's bond 2. And I really like this card, being able to just inherently get card advantage. You can draw a lot of cards with this deck, especially with access to this. And these are some cards that you can have access to the side deck, or some things that I was thinking about putting in the main deck. These are all pretty cool options, but honestly, I ran out of space and there's not too much else that I could add to it. But the deck has been performing very good. I really do like it. I do think it's a serious contender. I feel like this is a replacement for Shenron players if you really want to go that ramp strategy without having to rely on drop area and stuff like that. I think it's really cool, and it's all from Series 8. So if you're getting into the game, this is a great deck to pick up if you don't own any cards, because you'll be getting a lot of staples and things like that. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys want to see some gameplay and stuff like that from this deck, I have played a lot of games on Untap, and I will continue to do so. If you guys want to see some of those replays, we can save that for another video. And as always, please make sure to check out the Patreon, PPG DBS. We have a lot of fantastic content creators that are really working up a storm on this set 8. Much more competitive decks than you see here, but honestly, I think this is pretty good. I don't think it's you know, going to win a Pro Play Tour or anything like that, but I do like experimenting with these new ideas that Bandai puts on the table, because they always have a reason to, honestly, and they usually end up performing a lot higher than what people expect them to. So that's why I feel like putting them to the side is something that you don't want to do. You always want to make sure that you know what every deck does, because you're going to run into these decks around 1, 2, 3, 4 of a Pro Play Tour, and if you don't know how to beat them, then you might be down on your luck. So thank you guys again for watching the video. Till next time, we'll see you at Dallas. Goodbye.